Hi, glad you could make it to the second half. Let's tour the garden as it exists today. In the front, you can see that I try and anchor most of my beds with a manzanita or some other really strong anchor plant that's going to last for many, many years and be great for pollinators and birds. I'm very, very into birds and birding and supporting local pollinators and bees with the garden. And you can see that here with sages and manzanitas. Over here we have lots of pentstemons and some pretty annuals. Penny black, poppies, and some beautiful cream colored ones. I have some bulbs in here as well, Brodia, Tritularia, and of course lots of buckwheat because buckwheat is fantastic, beautiful, and very important for many local pollinators. When you come into the back, the first thing we see along this southern wall here is a big, well, what will be an even bigger blue elderberry. Great umbels for pollinators and fruits for birds. On the fence, you'll see I have a couple of trellises. I have a virgin's bower that's going to bloom later, and a small Dutchman's pipe that is going to be really big by the end of this season. It's in its ready to jump season. And in this area, you can see the goldenrod anchor, which is great, again, for many pollinators. Here's another great anchor, a ceanothus. And you can tell they are absolutely loved by bees and pollinators of all kinds. Great friends of manzanitas. And I love these Diplicus, which I call sticky monkey flower and used to be called mimulus, but now we have to call them Diplicus. I love them. I have several different ones in the garden. They're beautiful. The hummingbirds love them. I also enjoy sulfur buckwheat back here. Let's go along the back wall of our fence. We start on the left with several sages, excellent for pollinators and birds. This is where I have some Phacelia and some Gilia that I had to protect. This year the birds wanted to eat the Gilia all the way to the ground. I lost several of them. And then you can see this Rogers red grape climbing up this pergola. I'm excited, that should cover us this year. Another great plant for birds, food, and in terms of berries. And then along the back wall, you can see our anchors. Again, very bird friendly and pollinator friendly. Coffeeberry. Then we have a prunus, a toyon, and then a baccharis in the corner. And underneath that, the understory is made of eucharas, which are loved by not just hummingbirds, but many other birds. This back wall was home to a ruby-crowned kinglet this winter, which was great to watch. We then come up the north side of the yard, and you can see I again have echoed with our sticky monkey flower. You can see some blackberries. We eat those not for the birds. And then the echoing continues with lupin, ceanothus, a manzanita, a little coyote mint, and a daisy that will pop up here later. Again, having things that bloom at different times of year is really great for pollinators and birds alike. the middle of the yard is basically an echo of other places, so that there's a nice repeating theme that really, again, supports pollinators and birds. We have perennial anchors here that you've seen before, like sticky monkey flower, blue-eyed grass. There's a mallow and a lupin, as well as some actual grasses here. We again sprinkle annuals among them that really favor pollinators, such as poppies, tidy tips, and some gilia. And other pollinator favorites, like this milkweed mixed in with some checker bloom and baby blue eyes, a really hot spot for pollinators, as well as that hummingbird back there. Yep, that's him on a sticky monkey flower. That sticky monkey flower is in full sun, but is happy because he's in the island of the water feature. That's what you see there, a bird bath with a small solar fountain in it. Water is absolutely a necessary requirement for all wildlife, but especially birds. I've seen all kinds of insects and butterflies in there as well. I will replace it with a more natural, larger feature. That'll be one of my next projects. But I also planted things around here that can take this extra water, columbines, Faribault Springs, etc. Lastly, you will see this very tiny western redbud here. I planted a really beautiful western redbud the very first spring, and of course it died that summer. And I vowed to get another one, and all I could find was this tiny little 6-inch tall one at the Tilden Botanical Gardens last year. I think this is its second or third year, and look, it's starting to look like a tiny miniature tree. I'm very excited about it. All right, that's it for this tour, and I hope you have lots of questions, either about why I planted what I planted, or where, or other birds that I've seen and how I attracted them. Anything you like. It's been great. Thanks so much for coming.